Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in to my super chat. I cannot do this without you, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoy these live streams, your super chat support is greatly appreciated. It's right down below, right next to the emoji, and let's see. It's right there. The super chat is greatly appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, I have four segments on the Stock Market Crash channel, 3 segments on the Nuclear Confrontation channel. Eric, JG, hello. And this is my 4th segment today on this channel, so let's get this going. Hit subscribe, tell your friends. D-Rock, hello. D-Rock, thank you so much from upstate New York. Thank you for watching for so long, since 2016. Greatly appreciated. D-Rock, thank you. That's a long time. So you remember the original setup with the paintings behind me and the bookshelf. D-Rock, thank you so much. Kristen, hello. 2A, hello. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, Sir Felix, hello. For Free Reign, thank you for becoming a member. Thanks, everybody. Well, the Steele Dossier trial, and people are going to say, nothing's ever going to happen. Nothing's ever going to happen. Oh, my goodness. Nothing's ever going to take place. There's no justice. It's like, well, Rome wasn't built in a day, so what do you expect? Things take a little while to, like, the pendulum is moving towards Trump Republicans. So Democrats set up and framed Trump. It's pretty obvious. They lost to him in 2016, like I said they would. Clinton lost to Trump. And so they were mortified. They couldn't stand it. They couldn't look in the mirror and say, oh, let's accept results. No. So they get after Trump for that, but they're the ones who started all of this. Okay? They're the ones who did not transfer power peacefully. You cannot level investigations. You cannot level investigations at incoming presidents from outgoing administrations. Can't do that. Can't level you can't level investigations at incoming John hello and an incoming president. So just that alone, you have an outgoing outgoing administration. An outgoing administration that is utilizing its intelligence apparatus against an incoming administration of the opposite political party. Okay? That alone should give you, like, a moment of concern. You should say, okay, why do you think President Obama's administration investigated Trump? Because it was President Obama who came in with a Russian reset. Okay? So, he wasn't investigated by Bush. Even though Bush was not only militant, he was the worst president of all time. So I don't go by political party, I go by what's best for the country. Obviously, Trump is what's best for the country now. Gilmore 11, hello. But it's like, you look, Trump comes in, he's investigated with a dossier purchased by his direct political rival, literally purchased and compiled. And one of the people who helped compile the dossier, in addition to Danchenko, who's on trial in October, and there are 5 counts, people, not just 1 count, 5 counts. They'll get a conviction on 1 of the 5 counts at least. And then if they get a conviction on 1 of the 5 counts, then people will say, oh, nothing is ever gonna happen, you see? It's like, oh my God. Every time somebody says that, they might as well just write a check for $1,000 to the Democratic Party. That's worth more than a $1,000 check to the Democratic Party. When you write, nothing's ever going to happen. So I'll do like these, Durham probe segment or Hunter Biden or whatever. And you're going to get people like, just want to let everybody know, nothing's ever going to happen. Nothing's ever going to happen. Okay, I feel good about myself. Thank you. It's like, yeah, yes. People, it takes a while for the pendulum to swing back to, justice or rational thought or, eventually you reap what you sow. Eventually. It takes time. Sometimes it takes years and years. But it's going to be very difficult to get away with the things they got away with Trump Republicans in the House and the Senate. And they say that Democrats are gaining steam in the polls. We're in a recession. Manufacturing data was weak. I just did a segment on that. Inflation is skyrocketing. We're in a recession with the third quarter. Exactly, Sir Felix. The wheels of justice turn slowly. That's right. We're in a recession, and it's not getting any better. So, like the belief that, well, things will rebound and, Democrats are doing better now. Democrats, when they have a media onslaught, so you have all this gossip and hearsay that first they said Trump organized January, then they said, well, he could have done more, then they said, there are Secret Service text messages now, and they don't have a crime. It was a terrible thing that got out of hand. It wasn't his fault, directly his fault. He shouldn't have had the day. It was a terrible day. I condemn that day, but also I condemn $1 to $2 billion in property damage throughout the country that summer. See, Democrats like to pick and choose what to be outraged on. Imagine if conservative, and I agree with the cause of why people were demonstrating that summer, but you can't, if you are the type of person to look at $1 to $2 billion in property damage, curfews in every major city in this country, 19 lives lost, 14,000 arrests, complete chaos and mayhem in most cities of this, or a great many cities of this country. And then you say, oh, I weep for our country, I weep for our nation because of January and Trump. It's like, if you think Trump committed a crime, why haven't they indicted him? Do you want to know why they haven't indicted Hunter, or the way they didn't indict Clinton? Because you have the system defending them. It's different with Trump. You don't have a system. The system's going after him, but they can't find anything. And so when Comey says, and you can look here, when you can look here, and Comey says, well, he believes the Steele dossier to be credible. He knows very well it was never credible. James Comey is a lot more intelligent than than his act or his shtick. This is a performance when he talks about, these people believe that he's like this salt of the earth type of guy. It's like, no, he's a political operative. He's a political operative who utilized a dossier to intimidate an incoming president. Then he got fired. Then he got revenge. And Jeff Sessions was the absolute worst attorney general of all time. What Jeff Sessions did was criminal. Honestly, you know who the real villain is? It's not even Comey. Comey is like a political operative and a, high-ranking bureaucrat and intel chief. He could not have done what he did. These people could not have done what they did with the Mueller probe without Jeff Sessions. And so, Jeff Sessions is the person that recused himself. He was attorney general. He didn't even you look at Merrick Garland and you see this man, he's like petrified. He's like trying desperately to find something to indict Trump on. He can't do it. But he's like trying somehow. But what Jeff Sessions did was he recused himself, allowed, the number 2, to run everything pertaining to the Mueller probe. The Mueller probe was a public relations, gift to Democrats, just like the congressional hearing is not as important in terms of public relations, but it's still a very good public relations boost for Democrats. Because you have all of this intense media focus. Alaska Boomer, hello. You have this intense media focus. It's like this, when they say Democrats are going up in the polls are reflecting overwhelming media coverage of Trump being a bad person again. No discussion, by the way, and honestly, I fault Donald Trump for this also because he needs to actually communicate this. I mean, with everything, with all his ability, like all his resources to kind of communicate, he doesn't communicate the fact that his economy was better. You can't just go on Truth Social and you know, mock or denigrate. It's funny. I get it. It's funny when he goes after Biden. It's hilarious, but it doesn't help anyone differentiate between the economy we have now and the economy under Trump. JG, hello again. Look, we had record highs in household median income. We had inflation around 2%. We had gas prices at less than $3. Inflation is at 9.1%. Real wages were up under Trump. Real wages are down 4.4%. You have manufacturing that's slowing down. You have an economy that's shrinking. The GDP is shrinking. Okay? And you have to go ahead. You have to do something in terms of communicating. He does at his rallies, but his rallies aren't even, nobody sees them. I mean, yeah, people go to him, but like, they're not really covered anymore. I mean, he's been completely, they're trying to erase him. You can't get his rallies on this platform. You can get him on maybe some other platforms, but he has to find a way to say, okay, go to this platform and watch the rally. But people don't realize, like, most Americans, I don't think understand. I mean, I think that the people who are kind of into it, Ronald, hello. The Roz Rodriguez, hello. People who are into politics or understand, like, life, they're like, okay, you know what? I might not have liked Trump, but he had a great economy. His policies worked. He was mean, and the Hunter's Moon, hello. He was mean, and his tweets were offensive, but the economy grew up until his last year when Democrats tanked the economy, and then blamed you know what, and then had the political motive of kicking Trump out of office. Know what I'm saying? Hello. I think that he has to emphasize the good things that he did. He was a great president. He was an excellent president. If you remove the media, the apoplectic and hysterical media reaction, he was a good president. We had a great economy and a great foreign policy. Now we have foreign policy catastrophe after catastrophe. You have Pelosi starting a confrontation with China without, like, I'm not against, if she wants to visit Taiwan for a specific purpose, like, if you're going to recognize it formally as a country, then do so. But if you're just going to go not recognize it as a country and, you know, but you want to show your strength somehow by visiting it, and you know you're going to get a reaction, total hello. You know you're going to get a reaction from Beijing. What's the point? What on earth is the point? What's the objective? Does it fit some kind of long-term strategy? Does Biden have a vision of anything? Does he have a vision? What's his vision for foreign policy? Where does he want the country to be? Yeah, like people on CNN, like, oh yeah, his climate policies. You have no way of determining if these policies save the entire planet. You're talking about the climate. You're talking about the planet. They're focusing on policies in the middle of a recession that make the recession worse, like going after oil and gas companies, the oil and gas industry. And it's like, you're making things worse, not better, worse. Then they have an Inflation Reduction Act. It's really the Inflation Expansion Act. You don't pump more money to decrease inflation. That makes no sense unless you can ensure that there's economic growth. So when Trump's tax cuts that Democrats harp on, the economy grew. Okay? The economy grew. The economy's shrinking now. So we don't have tax cuts and the economy's shrinking. We had tax cuts, the economy grew. Now, there were other reasons why the economy expanded under Trump. Not just that, there were other reasons. But the point is, it's like you cannot make things worse. And what Democrats have done is they've caused this. They initially caused all of this poverty by pushing to shut down the United States economy. And part of the reason they were able to get away with that is because they had every single day the most apoplectic, hysterical reaction to Trump. And when it was taking place, when you know what was taking place in the end of his presidency, they were blaming him for every single life lost. More lives were lost under mashed potato brains Biden, and they said, well, there's no federal solution. And he did nothing but slowly open up the economy. So, HS, hello. So, it's just like, you have to, I mean, people don't take things into context. They look at Trump and they're like, oh, I don't like him. I don't like his personality. It's like, well, Crazy Oliver, hello. It's like, people can't differentiate. They can't delineate the image that media portrays of Trump and who he is, what he accomplished. They can't differentiate or delineate between the two. They can't draw a line and separate media from what his accomplishments are. Yvette Moore, thank you so very much, Yvette. So greatly appreciated. You're so wonderful. Every live stream, I just appreciate it. Yvette Moore, sure, HA, but Donald Trump once held a cup in two hands. Yvette, exactly. So they really reach when it comes to Trump. They really reach. Oh, look, he sipped from his cup weird. It's like, well, maybe he had makeup on. Maybe he didn't want to mess up his makeup around his lips. Who knows? But it's not like mashed potato brains where he's like slurring speech. I mean, only in this, Yvette, thank you so very much. Greatly appreciated, Yvette. Only in this political climate in the past 5-6 years could you have a man slurring his speech and like just mumbling and like in this garbled tone. Push-ups. Hey, I want push-ups. Like barking and mumbling and grumbling and slurring speech. I mean, can you imagine if Trump did this? Could you imagine? Hey, I want push-ups. And they're like, oh, he's like, that's just his personality. Then they had some, and these people are like seriously like, they're on a different plane of existence. They had people who had speech impediments, like, oh, Biden helped me. His courage has helped me. It's like, oh my God. It's not a speech impediment. Okay? It's not, like stuttering. It's actually like another deeper issue. Because he never had that throughout his life. They say that he had some kind of, you can listen to him speak 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, definitely 20 years ago. Stephanie, hello. I mean, like, you can hear him speak. It's not the same person. He's not the same person. You're talking about a different person right there, okay? And you basically, with Chuck Hello, it's like these people don't care, because you have to understand the way most Democrats are. See, if Trump presided, they get away with more because they have all of media in Hollywood and like every publication. It's like a monstrosity. But if Trump presided over a recession and an invasion in Europe, think about that for a second. And in terms of the Steele dossier, you'll get the conviction, people. Jesus, he'll get the Lord Almighty, he'll get the conviction. And it's never gonna happen. It's like now, like people make it a point just to say that. Nothing's a mashed potato with the TV is actually a meta. JG, exactly. But it's like, could you imagine if Trump had a recession and an invasion in Europe? I mean, Lisa, thank you. It's like, could you imagine that? The out of this world reaction to Trump. They don't even, and also like they're never, because believe me, I don't want to ever, unless it's like, you know, with another pundit or YouTuber, it's fine, I'll debate, but like, I don't ever want to get into like a debate with an average, like just person, like random person or friend or family member. Yvette! Just watched Tucker interview Greg Norman. They discussed Donald Trump. Greg Norman's the man. It's great. Greg Norman is the man. Yvette, I have to watch that. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. Yvette Moore, thank you so much. So greatly appreciated. Sir Felix, thank you. Yeah, I mean, you have people, and this is the thing also, like, I really respect the celebrities or the athletes that back Trump, because that says something about you as a human being. It shows character and it shows integrity. It doesn't show integrity or character as you just be like part of this herd of sheep disliking Trump just because your friends do. And then when you try to justify your contempt, you go, well, what about, he has this and he did this. Like, well, if you care about that, President Obama and Biden have done much worse. Everything you can say about Trump, and there are some things that, you know, there's some policies that, you know, were not right, that were wrong. And so, but the policies of Democrats are worse. If you care so much about immigration, the policies of Biden and President Obama especially are worse. Much worse than Trump. Much worse. I can't even talk about it on YouTube. With YouTube, because of YouTube guidelines, I can't even talk about it. So it's like any critique of Trump, you could make a more glaring or devastating critique using the record of of President Obama's administration. So, Stephanie, hello. So, it's like we're in a recession. It's going to get worse. The third quarter is actually going to continue to decline. We'll have a negative third quarter, even though the GDP now says that it'll be positive. I don't see that at all. I don't see the GDP being positive in the third quarter. That's going to help Republicans take over the House and the Senate. Republicans will take over the House. It's the Senate that they will. There's some question mark. They'll take over the Senate because things will get worse. Unfortunately, that's why the thing, like, you know, when people say, "Well, nothing's ever going to happen," it's like you might as well just write $1,000 check to the Democratic Party if you say that. You might as well just write $1,000 check, because the difference between a supporter of Trump and a supporter of Biden is that a Biden supporter is desperately wanting something to come out of investigations, Trump didn't commit a crime, so they want somebody to spill the beans somehow, just like I did with Mueller probe. Like, oh, he knew he did something wrong. We just have to find out. You don't need that with Hunter, or you don't need that with Bill or Hillary. The servers with top secret intelligence on them, running outside of the United States government. Comey knew that there were crimes. Comey knows like a lot more than he claims. He claims ignorance, and he claims to be like this, naive, gullible, ignorant person. He's extremely intelligent, and he's very, very he's very good at strategy. He knows exactly what he's doing. And he's not somebody who is gullible or easily influenced and so what's the word I'm looking for? He's very conniving. I was trying to use a different word, but he's very conniving. All of these people are very conniving. And they have media to just cover up their obvious lies and deceit. So when Comey, for example, says, gosh, I thought the Steele dossier was accurate. I thought it was credible, We had to look into it. It was credible, it was just credible. We had to look into it. It's like, no. He doesn't get away with that if all of media doesn't back him. He doesn't get away with that if Jeff Sessions isn't the worst attorney general of all time. My God, Trump did not even have an administration backing him. I mean, what Trump is doing is pretty heroic. I mean, it's like him against the entire universe, and 70 million Americans. Who, by the way, it's interesting. 70 million Americans have been pretty much erased. When you listen to any journalist, or you listen to like talk shows talk about Trump, it's like it's almost as if like a huge portion of reality is erased. I mean, do these people not, like when you watch The View, you know that the ladies at The View do not know, most of them who are liberal and despise Trump, do they know anyone? Have they spoken with anyone? Have they had an actual conversation without, a falling out with somebody as to why a friend of theirs would vote for Trump? See, this is the problem. Do you want to know why generally liberal Democrats can't have conversations with friends or family who vote for Trump? Because it's easy to refute their absurd accusations. He worked at the Kremlin. No, he didn't. Actually, that's not true. The Mueller probe found nothing. Well, it was suspicious. Okay, well, they didn't find anything criminal. And Clinton actually purchased the dossier with help from Kremlin sources, so. Oh, yeah, it would have been Georgia. Well, he didn't commit a crime then. He didn't commit a crime now. He went through his attorney. So, it would have been in New York. His tax returns. Like, well, they don't have anything. He inflated his net worth. Yeah, they didn't get that either. Stormy. Well, Avenatti's in prison now, so it's like, they don't have anything on Trump. They don't have anything. And then you say, well, you know what? Actually, the people who did commit crimes, Hunter didn't do anything. Have you seen the videos? It's disinformation from the Kremlin. So these are like it's like a computer program. If you're a liberal Democrat, you are actually a computer program. It's a it's a programmed real person Jedi. Hello. Real person Jedi. Hello. Hope all is well. It's like when they're easily confronted, it's like, well, household median income was at an all-time high. So what? He undermined democracy. I'm like, well, we have a recession now. That's not Biden's fault. It's not Biden's fault. He came in, he got sued by oil and gas associations and 14 states because of his policies. That's not his fault. He's trying to help the climate. Well, he's not helping the climate. Fossil fuels are at all-time highs, and he's pumping strategic petroleum reserves into the country. That's because the oil prices were too high. Well, he single-handedly pushed them higher because he was, like I said, being sued by oil and gas associations. So you're supporting the oil and gas associations now? You're supporting oil and gas? Well, I'm not supporting anyone. I'm telling you exactly what took place. And unemployment was at record lows. We have unemployment that are low now. It's like, well, we have a recession now, and it took 2 years to get back to where the levels were at in 2019. And so, but with Trump, we had household median income up, poverty at record lows, and it wasn't my fault. Yeah, but it's 2 years into his administration. We have a recession, contracting GDP. We didn't have any of this with Trump. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'd rather have Biden. Trump's a menace. It's like, and it gets back to that. Pete, hello. It gets back to that. Exactly. Tried musical. Exactly. And so they don't ever, like, that's the thing. Like, you can't get into... money flowed into the Clinton Foundation, and President Obama didn't veto the sale. You can't prove anything! But money, why did they give money, though? Why does Hunter get money? You can't prove anything! Like, well, you used a dossier against Trump. I'm actually using emails. I'm actually using email, Lisa, hello. Like, you can't, like, American girl! Hey, HA, hello, everyone. Sorry I'm late. Gotta feed the family. Yes, you know how it is. Here's the 5. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Professor Plum, hello. American Girl, thank you so very much. Greatly appreciated. Yvette, American Girl, thank you. To the ladies on H.A. Goodman live stream, I love you. God bless you. Thank you. Yvette! But what about his extra scoop? American Girl, thank you, Yvette. He eats ice cream all day. So what? Ice cream is good. What does Trump eat? He devours worlds. Do you think that Biden has is one fry short of a Happy Meal? It's Trump who eats Happy Meals. No, I'm talking about, do you think that mashed potato brains is one beer short of a six-pack? It's Trump. He's an alcoholic. No. Do you think that slurring speech and mumbling and garbling words and barking at people, you think barking at people is a good look? All right, new push-up. Come on, man. We're not in a recession, man. Come on, man. And so that is, then they'll be like, you know what? Trump, he has Stormy while he, and then they get nasty. And then it's very bizarre. I've seen these people get nasty. They're like, Stormy while his kid was young and Melania. And it's like, yeah, do you know what Bill Clinton did? Do you know anything that went on? What is his? Listen, Fat. I mean, they get nasty. And then I've seen people like, you want Biden next to your family? I mean, no, you want Trump next to your family? So they can grab you know what? It's like, well, you want Biden, who actually was accused of doing that? And who sniffs everything that moves? Oh, yeah. It's a real big deal, man. It's a real big deal. It's a big deal, man. Come here and let me just smooch. Mwah. Oh, I'm a salt of the earth person. Come on, man. Come on. Give it to me, man. I'm Joe. I'm Uncle Joe. Sit on my lap, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Like, no, thank you. These people are hilarious, too, because I'd much rather have, like, dinner with Trump or a beer with Trump or whatever. He doesn't drink. But I'd much rather, like, be next to Trump than Joe, this, like, lifelong, slimy, oozing politician full of, I don't know, internal, like, just anger. And, the poor, it's not anger. The poor man is going through a lot. God bless him. Honestly, God bless Joe Biden. I feel bad. I know I'm like, doing a little shtick here, but like, God bless him. Like, I feel bad. I hope he gets better. He's had what for the 50th time now, so it's like, these are the people who are like so into it, have it numerous times. They like, I got this, I'm basically a human pincushion, and I got the new pharmaceutical enema, and the goodness is coming out of my veins and my eyes, and it's so good I'm protected, and I'm breathing through a metal plate. Nothing can stop me. Oopsie, I have it 50 times now. Oops. Gee, I wonder how that happened. Maybe you should breathe air. Try breathing air. Maybe it'll work. I eat everything they say I do. And now there's the new thing. Now Gilbert Gottfried. Gilbert Gottfried was awesome. I got something that... No, I can't do it. He was so good. But like... It's like... It'll never... Do you understand? It doesn't really matter what happens. JG, isn't it true? It doesn't matter what happens. There are liberal, wonderful, morally superior, highly educated liberal Democrats. It doesn't matter what happens because ICBMs could be flying above. You have to understand, this is what could happen. There could, God forbid, be a tsunami and an earthquake, and the earth opening up as the tsunami engulfs you. So there's kind of like this bizarre, that's a horrible thing I'm thinking of. But like, and as you're in your car, and right before the tsunami and right before you go into the center of the earth, you're kind of floating and it's kind of swirling around like a toilet bowl, but it's the actual earth. And you're like, ah! And you look, and to the left, you see the liberal Democrat in your life, and they're like smiling. And you're like, ah! And you're like, and then of course, they take out their cell phone, and they lost all their stocks because there's a recession turned into a depression. The stock market crash is going to get much worse, much, much worse. Then a bumblebee comes in and stings you. I don't know how into your, and then there's ICBMs about to land. And the one thing that the liberal Democrat, the wonderful, highly educated, morally superior liberal Democrat will say is, at least Trump isn't tweeting. At least Trump isn't tweeting. Because they don't care. You have to understand, like, they don't, it's an obsession. It is an unhealthy obsession. Thank you, 2A. Thank you. It's an unhealthy obsession. It's not about politics anymore. The discussion about politics ended years back. This is now about, like, the way religious differences would be handled in the 1600s or the 14 or 1500s. It's like, this is their religion. They don't believe in God. You have to understand. They think God is like, whatever. If you had a choice between John Brennan and James Clapper and James Comey and God, liberal Democrats would pick James Comey and Clapper and Brennan. Like, well, the intelligence says, well, what, God says, no, you can't prove anything. Well, you can't prove anything with James Comey either. Everything he's probably lied under oath. Brennan and Clapper, we know for sure they lied under oath. The whole job, to be a good intelligence chief, you must lie. That's what an intelligence chief does. You think they tell the truth? Yeah, we totally have less military capacity than you. Yeah, but, oh, did I tell the truth? They're always lying. That's their job, is to lie. So, it's like... And then Trump, see, this is the thing with Trump. They would rather suffer. There are people who would rather suffer than have Trump lead a great economy. I mean, I'm not being petulant and malicious, or I'm not exaggerating. I'm not being hyperbolic. Okay. I mean, the indictment obsession is because they actually committed crimes, got away with it, so they're like, now it's payback. Like, no. But you got away with crimes. Trump didn't commit crimes. It's different. But they're obsessed with this man. And, you know, they're obsessed with him. That's the interesting thing, too. Their ignorance is magnified by the fact that they've disowned and won't speak to family members. Devil's advocate! I truly miss the profanity alert, salty North Carolina division in the house. Hello, Devil's Advocate, thank you. Yes, old school. You're old school, Devil's Advocate, thank you. Real Person Jedi. Knockout midterms. Great work and much love, HA. Enjoy the show. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. Real Person Jedi. Devil's Advocate, hello. Greatly appreciated, people. I appreciate your support. I can't do this without you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you so much. Nunya, hello. Tammy, hello. It's like, Real Person Jedi, thank you. Devil's Advocate, thank you. So kind of you. And then, you know, like, things are a bit slow. And, the viewers are getting restless, you know. Some like the critique, you know, like the other day, I got these critiques. I'm like, I had to unsub because you were thanking the super chat too much. Stop thanking the super chat. Stop it. Stop it. And I was like, dude, this is a recession. People are giving me money. I'm not even taking my clothes off. I mean, that would be nightmarish. But it's not like, you know. And live streams, usually people are like, you have to like do more than just talk about politics. But I am so thankful that I have, you know, the super chat from my wonderful viewership. I thank God for this viewership every day. Yvette Moore! Are we still doing that? Yes, apparently. Yvette Moore, thank you. Thank you. Yvette, you're fantastic. Thank you so very much as always, Yvette. I hope all is well. And thank you for your support also on Patreon. Thank you. Yvette, you're absolutely fantastic. Thank you. Real Person Jedi, thank you so very much. Devil's Advocate, thank you. Yvette, thank you so much. Exactly. They're like, stop thanking the super chat. Stop it. Stop it now. And the two things that I just love, the two critique I just love. One is, I'll work hard on like the Durham probe and this and that. And I'm like explaining like, look, you know, it's like Clinton paid for it. She literally paid for it. Okay. And then I'm like, you know, I talk about, yeah, there was a public relations executive here. We'll finally get to it. Literally feeding Janchenko, the Steele Dossier subsource, 5 counts. He'll get in a criminal charge with one. I mean, he'll get prosecuted or convicted with at least 1 count. He should, if he's smart, just, you know, work on a plea deal with Durham, so he doesn't have to do all of this. But here, PR executive identifies longtime Clinton advisor who fed falsehoods. And, you know, you can do like these long segments or uploads or whatever, and then I'm telling you, it's like, you know what? Nothing's ever gonna happen. Nothing's ever gonna happen. Nothing's ever gonna happen. Thank you, Devil's Advocate. Greatly appreciated. Thank you. So it's like, Dorota, hello. Thank you, Devil's Advocate. Greatly appreciated. It's like, it's like when you look at today's political environment, you have a situation where the pendulum, ladies and gentlemen, is shifting. Okay, it's not going to stay like this. It never stays. Okay, the Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld people had pretty much 8 years of a monopoly on political thought and media. Okay, you can look. And it's interesting because Trump was president, but media, Democrats had a monopoly on media. They're not going to have a continual monopoly on even media. Okay, once we reach a point, we're in a recession now. They're still focused on January. Once we reach a point where the third quarter is negative, where we'd have 3 quarters of negative growth, it's going to be very difficult for them to say we're not in a recession. Okay, it's gonna be very difficult. You know what? Honestly, like Paul Krugman, he's gonna have a tough time at the New York Times of saying that we're not in a recession with 3 quarters of negative growth. All right, when you have 3 quarters of negative growth, it's more than just a recession. Especially when you had positive growth. See, this is why you can't blame you know what. And you can't blame Dorota. Hello. You can't blame Trump. You can't blame you know what. Because in 2018, in 2021, it was, oh my God, they're so happy. Happy days are here again. Do, 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 do. Oh, yay. No more Trump. Yay. Look at the economy. And you can't, but then the reality sets in, and in 2022, you have, like I said, in October of 2021, you have a recession. You can't blame you know what. Okay, you can obviously we're experiencing the repercussions of what Democrats did by tanking the U.S. economy, and they were the ones gleeful. I mean, we have political amnesia in this country. We have a political amnesia. It's a profound political amnesia. They don't want to admit that their policies failed. Just like when mashed potato brains gets you know what for the 30th time. They don't want to believe. They can't believe. And God bless them. Look, honestly, God bless Joe Biden. I obviously... The Roz Rodriguez! Thank you so much. Trump 2024. Thank you so very much, the Roz Rodriguez. So wonderful and generous. Very generous always. I really appreciate your support. The Roz Rodriguez. Thank you. Thank you so very much. And if anyone writes that I'm thanking too much, you know what? They can watch, 2 hours of Joe Biden speaking. The Roz Rodriguez, thank you so very much. As always, greatly appreciated. I can't do this without you and everybody here in the Super Chat. Thank you. The Roz Rodriguez, thank you again. To my Super Chat, thank you. I don't have $20 million in venture capital funding. You have to understand when I say that, the Roz Rodriguez and everybody here, and thank you again, Yvette, everybody here, thank you. When I'm stuck in 2016, do you understand? This is why, I'm stuck in 2016, but everyone should be. Everyone should. This is, I guess, one of the perks of watching this channel, or benefits, or whatever, or sad realities. Maybe people should feel sorry for me. I am stuck in 2016, so when I say $20 million in venture capital funding, you had people who were getting $20 million from venture capitalists for pushing Medicare for all, and then obviously, no matter what, siding with the Democratic Party. See, a true voice. I'm not saying that I'm like this paragon of virtue because, I'm just a normal person. Not right about everything. I have my faults. Okay, but I don't go by political party. If it's Tulsi Gabbard, and I disagree with her on some things, but if it's Tulsi Gabbard versus Mitt Romney, I'm voting Tulsi Gabbard. Foreign policy is the most important thing for me. Thank you, Rhodey. Thank you, Rhodey Report. Thank you. If it's Trump versus any Democrat or any Republican, I'm voting Trump. So I want a great foreign policy, great economic policy. And I want a foreign policy. If the Lincoln Project opposes you, if the Lincoln Project opposed Mitt Romney, I'd vote for Mitt Romney. But the Lincoln Project would never oppose Mitt Romney. So Mitt Romney is like basically the never Trumpers, the Kinzinger, the Cheneys, the Mitt Romneys, they're never Trump. And this is the thing, the people who wonder why people like voters vote Trump, they don't care and they don't understand it. It's a combination of they don't care and they don't understand. Because you'll get people like saying, well, why are you voting Trump? He's terrible. It's like, no, he's actually really good. What? Well, he opposes never-ending military conflict. And you could see he negotiates. He wants to negotiate before just sending arms and weaponry. And the Lincoln Project opposes him. So that's one of the main reasons I'm voting for Trump, in addition to a great economy and a whole bunch of other things. Moving the embassy to Jerusalem was important for me. That's a good thing. It's a good thing. To other people, it's like, oh my God. It's like, no, that's a good thing. That's actually part of an overall strategy. Foreign policy strategy. Going to Taiwan and Pelosi, I'm not against that on principle. If you want to actually achieve something, what is it they want to achieve? Do they want to formally recognize Taiwan? Okay, then go. If you're not going to formally recognize Taiwan, then what's the point? What's the point? You're going to treat them the way you treated the country that was invaded in Europe. I mean, at this point right now, being a friend, like a close ally of the U.S. without a great military or nuclear capabilities, it's a tough situation. You're in a tough situation. The Roz Rodriguez, thank you again so very much. Thank you. And it's like, oh, I didn't delete it. I haven't deleted anything today. So it's just, it's somebody, it's the algorithm. But, I don't even know what I was saying. Midterms, Durham probe. October is also Elon Musk. Elon Musk is the billionaire that he's the billionaire. I was gonna say the billionaire we need, but it's like he's a billionaire who probably thinks a lot more like Trump, which is a good thing. The interesting thing is they say Trump's an authoritarian and tyrant. He's like, no, he's the opposite of that. Trump is literally the opposite of a tyrant. He doesn't care what you think. He doesn't care actually who you vote for. If he doesn't accept results, Democrats didn't either for 4 years, and they got the ball rolling on that stuff by accusing him of things he never did. He tells the truth a lot more often than Biden or Democrats or media. Media lied about him being an operative. Media lied about him committing all these crimes financially, and they can't find anything. Maybe it's because they lied. Lisa, not yet. They said he's this horrible human being. It's like, no, he allocated more funding to historically black colleges and universities than any president ever, made the funding permanent. He signed an executive order combating anti-Semitism on college campuses. We had household median income at a record high under Trump. Hey, the tax cuts actually lowered taxes for every tax bracket. So this is a vapid, a deceitful racket and scheme. When Bernie Sanders or Democrats or people on the left are like, the billionaires make out all the time. It could be a depression. You think billionaires were worried You think back then people with hundreds of millions of dollars were worried? During the Depression? No. They were, well, some of the multimillionaire people lost their money, but most of the richest people in the world did not lose money during the Depression. Okay? You could read Smedley Butler's book, War's a Racket. I mean, it's you can, the billionaires, the most wealthy are never going to, they're going to make money. They're going to make more money during an economic expansion. They're going to make more money during a depression than the average person. So what's the point of always comparing the average CEO compared to the average citizen? It's like, well, no, I don't have mods. Because I used to have 2 mods, but there's no mods anymore. Yvette, thank you so very much, Yvette. Greatly appreciated. Yvette, thank you so much. So kind of you. So kind of you, Yvette. The Roz Rodriguez, thank you as always. Thank you as always, Yvette and the Roz Rodriguez. Greatly appreciated, ladies. Thank you. There are no mods anymore. I did not delete anything. It's the algorithm. What happens is the algorithm deletes just on its own. So you'll write something, it'll either post and then get deleted or not even post. But I did not touch anything, and there are no mods. Indie Joy, hello. J-Hold, hello. Yvette, thank you so very much. The Roz Rodriguez, so kind of you. Ladies, thank you. And it's like, Pelosi, I'm not against her going if there's some kind of strategic objective. What is the... Now you have Republicans saying, and the Republicans are wrong too. Republicans say, well, she doesn't go. That sends a message that we were intimidated. It's like, well, okay. It's okay to actually... It's okay not to risk that, by the way. You know, one of the great things JFK did, he was told to invade Cuba, and he didn't. Because he was intimidated by the, or I should say concerned by the possible reaction, the consequences. So you have to there's a cost-benefit analysis with everything. Of course, Democrats want to control your cost-benefit analysis on every aspect of life. But there's a cost-benefit analysis in politics, in foreign policy, in life, every single day when you cross the street. Roz Rodriguez, Yvette, thank you again. And so, like, you have to make sure that if you go, you have to make sure that if you do go to Taiwan, that there's a reason. You know, that there's a reason. You can't just go simply to go. Like, what is the purpose? So Democrats for 2 years were reluctant to even talk about the origins of you-know-what. Okay? That directly correlates with the national interest of that country, that now they're being... Like, you'll have a very tough time. Democrats will have a very tough time trying to convince voters that they're tough on that geopolitical rival, because that's not... That's not... You have one politician who had a romantic relationship with a operative. So anyway. But, ladies and gentlemen, you are absolutely wonderful. The Roz Rodriguez, Yvette. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, the Roz. Again, as always, thank you, Yvette. To my super chat, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. I did 4 segments on the stock market crash channel today. Go to the stock market. We are going to have a devastating market crash, much worse than what I predicted, that we've already seen. And ladies and gentlemen, at 8 a.m. and 11 a.m., so 8 a.m. and 11 a.m., always be on my channels in the morning at 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. Pacific time. JG, thank you. Tammy, thank you. Hello. Woodchuck, hello. But anyway, be here tomorrow, 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. I might do an upload later tonight on this channel. I'm not sure, but definitely be here tomorrow at 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. Pacific. And I'll have, let's see, Stock Market Crash 7 a.m. and 10 a.m. And then Nuclear Confrontation channel 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. Thanks, everybody. God bless to my super